What's up, droners, and welcome to, well, this is my office actually, because we're in a transitional period. Typically we shoot droner stuff in my backyard, but I'm having to move because my landlord's selling the house I lived in, so you know, whatever. And today, this video is actually inspired by you. Because a lot of times I'll be getting questions from you about, hey, I want to be a professional drone pilot. What do I have to do? Outside of getting the license and getting the drone, what else do you need to buy? So this is what this video is like, these are the accessories that I use with the drones that I use. And today we're actually gonna be using, we'll start with, bam, this is my new favorite drone, or one of my new favorite drones. This is the Phantom 4 Professional. It's a very impressive drone with an amazing camera and all kind of capabilities that everybody, you already know about it, look about it, whatever. But it's the Phantom 4 Pro. So I'm gonna show you guys all the different things that I use with the Phantom 4 Pro. And I kind of categorize everything into 4 different things. There's the power sources of it, there's camera accessories, the communication, and then there's traveling accessories. So we're gonna start off with the power stuff, because that's pretty much the easiest to me. First thing is you're gonna need, obviously, batteries, but I have 4 of those, but those are things that you know. Those are the things that are easy. Now what this is right here is actually a power inverter, and there will be a link to everything below. And the reason why this is important is because this is what allows you to connect to a car battery and be able to charge almost anything off of this. And I know that's useful in any circumstance, but specifically for a drone, a lot of drones have a hard time powering their batteries, like Inspire specifically, have a hard time powering the batteries off of like a 12-volt or little, cigarette lighter plugger. So if you ever have any issues with this thing will not have that issue. Literally connects directly to the battery, plugs right in, charges it up quick. So I've used this plenty of times when I've been on the road and having trouble with like, oh man, I only have 4 batteries, but we want to fly a lot more. Then this is what allows us to keep flying and keep doing our thing. Also, there is, this is from DJI, this is their DJI Car Charger. Now the reason why I have both of these things is because sometimes actually this might have an issue. So you work with this, and sometimes this has an issue, so you work with this. Redundancy is a really big thing that you'll see with drone pilots, is that we like to have that. And that's why the Inspire 2 battery thing was such a big deal for everybody. Either way, redundancy is huge because you can't be going down around a client. You can't, oh, I can't fly anymore. Another thing that's really important is when you're charging from not a regular wall outlet, you should try to be safe. And this is what this is for, is a Lightbulb Guard Bag. These are supposed to prevent, like if the battery decides to explode or something like that, this is supposed to contain the fire so that it only destroys the bag and the battery. We have camera accessories. Now, obviously, we're flying drones because there's a camera on them. That's why I'm flying them. That's why you guys are flying a lot of them. You can use the camera for a lot of different things, but there's a lot of things that will be in common when you're flying. So for me, camera accessories are big. One of the biggest accessories that I have for the camera is actually my ND filters. It's literally the very first thing that I tell anybody who gets a camera drone to buy is make sure you get ND filters, because these cameras don't have internal ND. There's almost no drone camera that has internal ND. So you need to be able to put this ND filter on your drone. I actually did a whole separate video about how important ND filters are. These are my Polar Pro Cinema filters for my Phantom 4 Pro. Highly recommend these. There's a link below. But yeah, these are the top of the line, and they work. They work wonderfully. The footage comes out incredible, and it allows you to keep your shutter speed low so you can just have even better looking footage. So like I said, I did a video on it. Check it out. Link should be below as well. So I know I might get made a lot of fun for this, and it looks a little bit dirty because I use it. But this is actually one of my favorite drone accessories. It comes from the DJI store. You can get a lot of other ones too. So this is just like the little hood for your screen. Big deal when you're flying out in the sun, which is typically the way you fly. As you can see, it covers up the screen quite well. And look at that, it even holds my iPhone 7 Plus perfectly. I know a lot of people fly with iPads. I fly with an iPad a lot as well. But typically when I'm flying with a Phantom or the Mavic, I fly with my iPhone 7 Plus. It's a pretty big screen. It works really well, and it's easier to lug around. So pretty much I use this for the smaller drones, and I use the iPad for the bigger drones. This is a pretty standard hood, but actually when I was at NAB, I got to meet the guys at Hoodman, and they had really cool hoods that will like extend all the way out to your face. So there's no way any light's gonna get in there, and you'll only be able to see your image, which is incredible. So shout out to Hoodman, y'all should send me one because I love them. So yeah, another thing that I have for my camera control is, you guys can see, I have these little knobs right here, these little rubber knobs that I put on my drone controller. As you can see, it just goes right on top. As you can see, when I pulled it off, this thing sticks on there. I held the controller so it didn't hurt anything, but these just go right on. And I like these because they give me a lot more precise control. of the drone when I'm flying. They just cradle your thumbs, and they just make it so it feels like you're just a little bit more in control than you would be otherwise. And it makes it so you can do a lot of those parallax moves and things like that just a little bit smoother, and you just feel like you have a little bit more sensitivity to the drone. And instead of having to change the sensitivity of the actual drone itself, you can just be more sensitive with your thumbs. So I'm a big fan of these. These actually came with a commander set that I bought for communications for my Inspire, and I just didn't even think to buy one, but then I tried them on all my drones and I was like, oh my God, these are amazing. So yeah, I found some links below that aren't these exact ones, but good ones anyway, because I was really surprised. I really was at how cool these things are and how much they changed how I flew. So check those out. Another thing for camera work that I have are, and I know again, people are probably gonna make fun of me, but this is these little things right here are like the poor man's way to extend your communication pretty much. These go into your antennas and they boost the signal. Now, some people might say, oh, no, it doesn't, no, it doesn't, but I've actually flown in some really high urban areas or places where I've had to fly really far with a visual observer who's far away, and these actually did have a significant difference for me. So everyone's gonna have different stories about how it works. For me, when I'm flying in a congested area, I'll take as few risks as possible when it comes to the communication, be able to get my image to my drone and to be able to keep communication with it. And as long as you're facing where the drone is and you have these up and ready, I have found that these do help significantly when I'm doing that. So if you guys have something better that you recommend, let me know, because I'm all here to learn. We're community, right? So moving on to communication. With these babies right here, these are, I can't believe that I ever even flew before having these. There's actually 3 of them in this set, but I'm only holding 2 for now. But these are the Eartec UltraLight headsets, and I actually did I like these so much I did a whole separate video on them. These things are incredible. Like, these allow you to communicate with your visual observer, possibly your camera operator if you're flying an Inspire or something like that. They have amazing range. They're just open walkies. You just put them on and you just talk. And it's just like all the time. You can just say whatever you want to say. Everybody can hear you. It has great volume control, and the batteries last for a while. I have not had a single issue with these, and pretty much every single time I fly, when I'm flying for a client, I bring these. Very least, it makes you look more professional. I mean, you show up with a headset because you're flying, and people are just, oh yeah, he's dude serious. So I highly recommend these Eartecs. The link is below. All right, so now I'm gonna have to clear this table off because I want to show you guys the travel gear that I use, and it's too big to put on here. So. Well, that was easy, right? That looked good. Either way, here we go. That was sad. I know that was sad. So this is actually the case that I chose to travel with. This is pretty much when I'm flying with my Phantom 4 Pro. I use this to be able to check it. I travel with a lot of film equipment, camera equipment. A lot of people can be like iffy about that, but typically when I'm traveling with a film crew, and normally they want you to carry their cameras that cost $5,000 to $20,000. And you got to bring that on as a carry-on, and you're like, well, my drone costs $2,000, and like, they're checking it. So if I'm gonna check a drone, this is how I do it. Bam. So this is a Case Club case. It's lighter than a Pelican, and it was designed specifically for Phantom 4 Pro. I looked around a lot, and this just one had all the pockets that I wanted. That's really what it came down to. It's a little bit lighter, and it just had enough pockets for everything I have. You see, I have 4 of the batteries, has a place for the blades. The drone goes in here. I have other random accessories. I don't really use these, so I'm just gonna put that away over here. But it pretty much carries everything pretty darn safely. I say is the word. This keeps everything really safe. If I ever have to check my bird, this is how I do it. Now, I don't keep my batteries here. If I'm ever gonna check it, I'll show you guys exactly what I do. You don't check batteries. I did a whole separate video on that as well. So you don't check batteries, but you can check everything else as a drone kit, and it should be fine. So yeah, typically whenever I get a drone gig overseas or somewhere like that, it's not like you just get out of the car and then you're like, all right, it's fine right here. Like, that almost never happens. And having a case like that is really convenient to be in an urban setting because you can roll it around on the pavement and you can just carry it short distances over things. But when it comes to actually having to hike and get to spots and get hard places, like, having a case like that is the most inconvenient thing in the world. So that's why good homies at Polar Pro hooked me up with this backpack, which is quickly becoming one of my favorite backpacks I've ever had in general. All right, so this backpack is the truth. It really is. There's so many compartments and so many things. It's almost like they thought of everything at Polar Pro. And I'm a huge fan of it, so that's why I wanted this backpack. My favorite thing about it is that the back of it is very hard and it's very comfortable for your back. And it also has like little wing things that wraps around to be able to protect your back while you're walking around and doing stuff. It's made for hiking, it's made for going long distances, and it also is made to hold multiple drones that are smaller, what I'll show you. But either way, oh yeah, we'll talk about this in a minute. This drone backpack is incredible. All right, so first thing you'll notice is that you actually have a bag wrap. What this does is you actually wrap this over the entire bag if it's raining to make it so that anything inside of it doesn't get wet. This bag already seems pretty watertight, but why not have the extra precautions of being able to wrap this around it? Super easy, just wrap it around and then lock it in with the cord right here. Bam, super done, super easy, amazing. As you can see, it actually has different compartments that are all customizable. They all can move around. Right now it's set up, it looks like for a Phantom 4. You literally just set the Phantom 4 like this. Right in here. You can put your batteries in here. You can put a Mavic over here or a Spark. Like, this thing has all kind of space. It's ridiculous. So I personally actually normally travel with my Mavic and my Phantom at the same time inside of this because it works that well. It has just little compartments and bags everywhere. Like, oh, let me put my battery stuff over here. And this even comes out, like everything comes out and is customizable. This whole bag is just the truth, like in every way possible. It just has, like, one of my favorite things about this bag is that it has more compartments than you can figure out how to use. And normally that's a good thing for me. And it holds the drone in there really well too. So you put the drone in, it even has a strap for the drone to hold it down. One of my biggest things with having a bag that you travel with expensive equipment in it is that everything feels tight and that everything's together, because if things are knocking around, you open it up, everything's everywhere, something could have gotten broken. It could be some issues. This one does not have that issue. Like, it seems like they thought about that as well. There's a strap literally to put the drone inside, and then after you put that inside, everything else, then on top of that, there's another zipper here that holds everything underneath in there, and then you also have different compartments everywhere that all have zippers and all ready to go. And you're like, wow, that's an amazing backpack by itself. But wait, there's more. This backpack, on the other side of the backpack, you just flip it over, and you have a whole nother section. And this whole other section right here is meant for like a laptop. So even, again, nothing's gonna be knocking around because you have a thing to hold it in. But yeah, this is a laptop space, another space down here, another space here. It's just like, this thing is just winning. No matter how you look at it, it's winning. And I couldn't tell you how happy I was about this backpack. I looked around for a lot of backpacks, and this one was the one that I liked the most for the Phantom 4. The last thing I'll say about this backpack is even on the sides, it actually has a water bottle holder on both sides, because, you know, we like to stay hydrated, and accessory things right here on the sides, little accessory bags that hold things that you need quick access to. I actually do put my card readers, or my card case, which I highly recommend having one of these for all of your micro SD cards, because it protects them and it makes it so that you can keep a library of all your footage while you're filming somewhere. If you're filming for long periods of time, you can just keep it all backed up. Of course, you're gonna back it up on a hard drive, but if you have enough of them and you have them protected, then it's like double backing up everything. Why not, right? Typically, the best way that I find to travel is what I do is I put the batteries and the accessories in the Mavic in this backpack, and pretty much keep this in my laptop and everything. I travel with this and carry that on, and then I check the drone and then other things that I didn't need necessarily with me into that case. So I actually bring both of these with me. All of this came from like years of trial and error, because I've been flying for years, I've been traveling for productions for years, and having the versatility of having the hard case as well as the backpack is unparalleled. You can't mess with it. One thing that took me a while to learn is that you can always repack in your hotel. So you get traveled somewhere for a client to go do some drone footage or do something like that. You're not gonna normally walk off the plane and like, okay, we're shooting right now. Typically you have a travel day, you get to your hotel, and then you repack everything. So you take the drone out of this case and you move everything around and you figure out what the best thing is depending on the day. So one other thing I learned is that I typically, because I live in Southern California, I get to fly a lot from beaches, which is awesome because who doesn't want to be on the beach? But beaches aren't necessarily the friendliest thing in the world of drones. With my Inspire, I got this heavy pad that's really hard to travel with and very inconvenient because it's a heavy, thick pad. It's amazing for flying from on the beach. It's amazing for flying from anywhere, but it sucks to travel with because it doesn't fold down, doesn't do anything like that. And that's what you have something like this for. This is the landing pad. And I use this one for my Mavic, and I use this one for my Phantom 4 Pro. And the way this works is that it works just like if you work in production, you know reflectors. It's the same exact technology. It just pops open, and then you just lay it on the ground. I normally put the orange side up so you can see it with the camera. It's pretty cool. You just put it straight on the ground, and then you have stakes. They go right through each one of these little things. That's really hard to do with just your left hand. Bam! I got it. I can do it. I can't do it. I can do it. Okay, there you go. The stakes slip right in. You just put those stakes in the ground. And what this does is it prevents you from kicking up particulate matter into your engines, into your propellers, into your camera, into all the things that shouldn't have particulate matter in them, which is pretty much everything in a drone. But it's awesome. So like you put this thing down. It also lets people around you know where you're going to be landing, so people don't just stand in your landing pad area, which is horrible. For some reason it has north, south, east, west on it. That doesn't help me at all. But it's really easy to put away. You just fold it up like you just took it out. Goes right back into a circle, and then you just put it right back into this pad, and you're good to go. So the link is below for these. They're pretty cool. All right, and last but not least, I have to mention that I don't fly anywhere without going through my pre-flight checklist and using my flight log to be able to log exactly what happened, where I flew, how long I flew, and just, you know, it makes it so you can keep track of all the things that are important, like your battery health, and the required maintenance that you should be doing, the routine maintenance to be able to keep your drones tip-top shape. So stay tuned. I actually have something special for you guys coming with that. But in the meantime, these accessories should definitely hold you over. Everything that you need to be a professional pilot with a Phantom 4 Pro is right here. So let me know if you guys have anything else that you guys use. I'd love to hear what you guys are doing. Like I said, we're a community, and yeah, let me know. Droners, thank you so much for checking out this video in my new space. That's interesting. Tell me what you think about it. And also tell me what you think about more review videos, because we have a lot of those. Or you can check out our intro video because it's awesome, and let me know what you think of that. Or you can subscribe, because that lets you know, that lets me know that you are thinking about us, because this is what allows us to do what we're doing. And as always, make sure you stay fly.